So the topic of divorce in the Torah, as in most of Scripture, is dealt with from the perspective of a man divorcing his wife. It doesn't address women divorcing husbands at all. Maybe that wasn't a thing at the time. And the passage that the Pharisees are referring to is in Deuteronomy 24, verse 1, which says that when a man takes a wife and has married her, and it has been, if she does not find favor in his eyes, for he has found in her a thing of disgrace, and he has written for her a document of divorce, and has given it into her hand, and has sent her out of his house. And the sentence goes on into a related topic, not finishing for several more verses. So the answer to the question of, does God permit divorce despite hating it? The answer apparently is yes. This passage is describing exactly what the Pharisees said. The husband writes a document of divorce, gives it to her, and sends her away. The sending away is the divorce. And he can do this, according to this passage, not for no reason, but because she doesn't find favor in his eyes, because he's found something disgraceful in her. Other translations say that he finds something indecent about her or unclean. The Hebrew here actually literally says naked. So perhaps this is some kind of sexual disgrace. It's unclear. So while this doesn't appear to support the idea that a husband can divorce his wife for every cause, as the Pharisees suggested, the way it's written is nevertheless extremely vague. We also see the concept of the divorce document crop up later in Isaiah 50 and Jeremiah 3, in the context of Israel's national infidelity in going after other gods. So even in God's metaphoric language toward Israel, where he is the husband and Israel is the wife, the husband divorces his wife because of the wife's behavior. Israel, by her actions, gave God cause to want to divorce her. And it's worth noting that what drives God to that point is Israel's unfaithfulness and her breaking of the covenant. So the Pharisees were correct that Moses does allow a man to write his wife a document of divorce and send her away. But what does Yeshua say to this in response? In Matthew 19, verse 8, Yeshua tells us why Moses permits it, and it's not good. He replies, Moses, for your stiffness of heart, allowed you to send away your wives. But from the beginning, it has not been so. In other words, God's plan for marriage does not include divorce. Marriage is a lifelong joining by God of two people into one that should never be broken. So God's permitting of divorce then, through Moses, is in fact a concession because of the hardness of people's hearts. God doesn't condone divorce, nor does he approve of it. He simply allows it because married people can be ugly and terrible and destructive to each other. Stiffness of heart isn't grounds for divorce. It's just the reason that Moses allowed it. And yet, Yeshua is quick to remind us that from the beginning, divorce was never the plan. And for very good reason, as Yeshua then goes on to explain. Because even though Moses permits divorce, that doesn't mean that it's free from highly severe consequences. There's a huge trade-off for that allowance, beside the fact that you have to go against Yeshua's word to do it. Because not only does divorce ruin families, not only does it tear apart a God-joined union, but divorce is extremely likely because of our own decisions to turn us into adulterers.